And now Alex, we know what needs to be done, or work pattern structure is there. We know when it can be done, its schedule. And then we come to a huge topic. And when someone asks what can go wrong here, what will fail, and what are the risks actually? What are the risks of this project? What are the things that can go wrong? How do you approach this topic? How you analyze all risks in a project? And once when you know them, how you react, how that influence your project governance?
So when it comes to the risk management topic, to call it that way, I think it is closely aligned to a couple of things. Understanding in very simple terms what is a risk, meaning it's something that might impact your project, but it didn't happen.
Yes, that's very important.
Yeah, issue which is impacting your project and it did happen. Also, equally important, assumptions, which I believe are important to put in place, because when you're starting, you might assume that you will have sufficient resources to do the work. What I would like to always emphasize is, when you are providing that one pager or project charter or whatever format it takes initially, when management tells you that something needs to be done, to put such assumptions in place, because those will eventually, if not true, end up in your risks and issues log.
Exactly.
Risks and issues, in essence, are mostly, in my view, feeling based. So to take Marco's example, building a house. If you know that you're building in an area such as that is very rainy, for example, UK, a risk would be that it might rain 30% more days than usual. So your schedule would be postponed by 30+% because it takes time to dry, I guess. So that
based
would be
on our SME experience in building houses.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So this is one of the areas, and when you think about it, how do you react to that? How do you actually manage a risk? Again, taking that example, you could mitigate that by building in summer. You could mitigate that by putting in place a cover in the construction area or something like that. You could also accept the risk and say, it is what it is. It's something that I cannot impact. So what I'm mentioning here are the so-called strategies. So mitigation, acceptance, what I was just mentioning. You could also transfer the risk, meaning, let's say, buy an insurance saying, if I don't finish by that date because of rain, insurance will pay up the costs that are incurred to the client or to yourself. So you would need to understand for each of those risks how probable it is. Again, if we take the same example, rain. So this is something that is based on the data analysis, maybe unlikely, but the impact is big. Same would be, I don't know, earthquake. So it's unlikely to happen, but if it happens, the impact is really big. Everything stops. On the other hand, the risk is also that the price of, I don't know, concrete might rise. So, or might change unfavorably, whatever that means. So in that case, the probability is probably higher, or it might be depending on what the market says, but the impact is lower. So it wouldn't be as impactful as this, and you can plan maybe a reserve of money for it. You say, I can plan 10% more money for materials because I expect in the duration of building that house that the price might change, so my expenses will change, and so forth.